Hey guys, TGCast Productions. So this GT Line video, we're going to be doing a buying, customization, and review of the Pfister Growler. This is one of the drip feed vehicles for the Los Santos Tuners DLC. As always, first off, we're going to purchase this vehicle, and it can be purchased from Legendary Motorsports. And unfortunately, I don't have the trade price for this vehicle, so we're going to spend a little bit extra here, but nonetheless, buy the vehicle anyway. So check out the stats there, all the screenshots, and we'll also read the caption as always. These captions are always interesting. You prefer the book to the movie, you drink spirits neat. You describe your sense of humor as subtle and your love making as imperceptible. You're the thinking person and you choose handling over speed, control over power, and principle over pleasure. You choose wisely, you choose the Pfister Growler. So there we go. We have to, I think when I went to purchase this vehicle, I almost forgot to choose the color here. Common mistake. And then also I don't have the trade price. Trade prices are given every 5 reputation levels of the car meet randomly. So I didn't get this one yet, but unless, let's purchase it. So here we go, we just got the Pfister Growler delivered. And this vehicle appears to be based off the Porsche 982, more widely known as or marketed as the Porsche 718. And these are split into Cayman and Boxster models. I believe the third generation or the fourth generation of Boxster, third generation of Cayman. I believe this is more of a Cayman car. That's just my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and check out, listen to the engine noise of this vehicle. Let's get a little bit of a closer look at the Pfister Growler. And as always, with all the tuner vehicles, you can apply our low grip tires to the vehicles in the LS car meet in the mod shop inside there, and that is found under tire enhancements. So there we go. We got, looks like we have Pfister inside the trunk there, which you have in the front. You have Pfister also on the side there, and the dash and the passenger side, so that's cool. We don't really get a good look at the engine, so it's sort of like a little bit. I mean, it opens up a little bit more than the Pfister Comet S2, but again, you're not going to really get much with the engine there. So there is that. Go ahead and get inside the vehicle here. Take a look at the interior. And the interior also, I believe, reminds me of the Comet S2. The seats, the dash, even the like where the speedometer is. You can almost, it looks like you see the tire pressure like you could in the other vehicle or in the Comet S2. And then I like how on the steering wheel it has Pfister logo, just like sort of the real vehicles, the real Porsche 718. So that's cool. I really enjoy that aspect. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Comet S2. It also show you sort of the headlights here and the brake lights, backup lights. I think the brake and backup lights is at least the tail lights are sort of cool. They do seem to reference the Porsche 718. The headlights are even pretty cool, but they don't have really a cool turn on as far as the high beams, but let's go ahead and check out the customization for this vehicle. So here's the customization for the Pfister Growler, and as you can see there, it is in the sports car class. So other than being able to race against the tuner vehicles, it can race against the other sports cars in GT Online. And as always, I won't really necessarily talk for the all the customization. I'll commentate through it, and also I was sort of being rushed a little bit as I was pulling into the garage. When I was saying with the headlights, I think the headlights have a pretty cool look to them. Almost looks like a headlight within a headlight, but there's no really cool turn on when you turn on the high beams. Sometimes when you go to turn on the high beams with the headlights, you get like some sort of cool effect there. There really wasn't that. Also, you can see here with the engine, we have strut bars you can still add, which I think look pretty funny on this vehicle. But yeah, you can still add strut bars. You definitely could not add that to the Comet S2 because you couldn't even open up nearly as much of where the engine is on the Comet S2 than you could on the Pfister Growler. So that's pretty interesting right there. What's cool about the exhaust here is the stock exhaust as well as some of these like just one oval exhaust that you have here seem to reference just the regular 718 Cayman and 718 Boxer, whereas when you get into those double exhausts, it seems to reference the 718 Cayman S, the 718 Boxer S, as well as like the 718 Cayman T and 718 Boxer T. So I thought that was really cool there. So you can sort of choose, I guess, what type of 718 you want with that. So that's pretty cool with this exhaust there. Coming up here, the fog light pod you can add to the hood here. It does actually work. It's functional, and I'll show that here in a little bit because it's actually a light bar you can add to the roof, which they both work, which is really cool. Just not really my type of style on a Porsche vehicle, nonetheless. And then we also, with the interior here, we have it with the carbon dash. What's actually cool is, at least when I was going through the Porsche site and I was looking at the Cayman models, it was either the 718 Cayman S or T. I'll make a note on the screen which one it was. You could add some carbon into the dash and the steering wheel. I didn't add it into mine just because the whole dash wasn't carbon on the real life one, but I did think that was cool if there was an aspect of that nonetheless. Also do like how a handful of these steering wheel modifications do keep the Pfister logo in the middle, and I believe the other vehicles you can modify with this update do some, will have that like a similar effect. Even the Pfister Comet S2. Personally, I like the stock steering wheel, but it is a cool aspect of the steering wheel modifications. What's interesting is we have lip spoilers and then we have just regular spoilers. And I do believe you can apply both to the vehicle, similar to, I want to say, what we saw with the Emperor Vectre. I believe that vehicle may have had that also. Don't quote me on that, but it's interesting how you can apply both. And it doesn't have the smaller lip spoiler doesn't have the functionality like the Comet S2, but nonetheless, it is interesting how you can apply both the lip spoiler and the regular spoiler. And the liveries for the most part aren't really super interesting. One of them I thought was cool and I actually ended up applying it, and I'll talk about that with my personal one. But, liveries are fairly plain here. We did get a camo one, so I don't know. I mean, if that's your style, but yeah, for the most part, pretty generic liveries, and we got 10 of them. Seems to be a popular number for drip feed vehicles. The respray options with this vehicle for the primary color, it covers pretty much the majority of the car, as you can see here. Nothing inside the interior, but pretty much the entire exterior of the vehicle. For the secondary color, that color covers the brakes, the mirrors, as well as sort of the embroidering around the seats, the doors, and even the dash a little bit. And then the trim color covers the majority of the interior, almost 100% of it, which we don't always see for a trim color. So that is really cool. Covers, like I said, pretty much the entire interior of the vehicle. And then obviously we have the accent color, which just covers around like the speedometer, the dials there. So pretty much what we've seen with all the other vehicles, this update, this point. That is what the respray options cover for this vehicle. Coming up here with the roof accessories, I'll insert a clip here after the light bar upgrade to show you that the light bar as well as the fog lights on the hood do work. I believe they act as sort of the high beams. I don't know if you actually have high beams. If you apply those upgrades, I think those may act as the high beams, but nonetheless, pretty interesting. Again, not my style, but it is pretty cool that those are actually functional because as I've stated on some vehicles in GT Online, you have those options, but they're not always functional. As I stated earlier, you can apply a lip spoiler with a regular spoiler. I can't remember if all of them worked with the lip spoiler, but I do believe at least some of them, if not all, work. So that is pretty interesting how you can have a lip spoiler and also just a regular spoiler. And we also have headlight and or taillight coverings for this vehicle, which is pretty cool. I know with the Drift Feed vehicles so far, we've had no vehicles that have that option. I'm not sure about all the day one vehicles, as right now I only own the Jester RR and the Euros. Pretty cool feature though with this vehicle. And then as we get to the wheels here, I will say the wheels are somewhat unique to this vehicle, but there are a number of wheels that closely resemble the wheels that are on the Pfister Growler. In fact, there's even a set of wheels you unlock with the LS Car Meet Reputation that are almost exactly identical to these wheels with like a slight difference. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'll put a note in the video of what the name of those wheels are. And again, they're unlocked with LS Car Meet Rep. But that's pretty much the full customization of the Pfister Growler. So here's my personal Pfister Growler. For the colors, I went with primary color, metallic orange, pearlescent sunrise orange, secondary color, metallic red, trim color, dark steel, accent color, ice white, livery, black Growler. Sort of going for the Porsche 718 Cayman P with that livery. And then we have other upgrades that are worth mentioning: exhaust, carbon affinity exhaust, neon layout, front back sizing, a color orange, lip spoiler, primary ducktail, mirrors, primary mirrors. And then for the wheel type, we went with sport, rim type, Mercie, and the wheel color, black steel. And I'll leave all these modification changes in the description of this video. So now on to the final review of the Pfister Growler here. And here we go, picking up pretty nicely. As far as acceleration is concerned, definitely don't think it's going to top anything like the O-Slot Jugular. Not even sure what the RSX's acceleration is like. I know the O-Slot Jugular had like insane acceleration in the sports car class. And I want to say it still has pretty fast acceleration in the sports car class. One thing you'll notice there is this car likes to spin a little bit, and had some experience with that in races, which can be a downfall of this vehicle. But let's go ahead and take it in the test track real quick. Do a little bit of further test driving with this vehicle. So as I've done with the past drift feed vehicles, even some of the ones released on day one, specifically the Jester RR, the Euros, some of the top competitors, especially the Jester RR, I like to take them in a time trial here just to get an idea of the lap time. And my best lap time that I've set is by the Emperor Vectre, which has the best lap time in the tuners class. Pretty good lap time in the sports class as well. And surprisingly, I really didn't think this was going to be the case based on, I mean, my lap time wasn't horrible. My first lap here was around 1 minute and 4 seconds. I was sort of just getting used to the vehicle, but after that, I did 3 or 4 more laps. I think I averaged around 1 minute to 1 minute and 1 second, which really isn't that bad. And surprisingly, according to Bruffy1322, and I'll link his videos at the end of this one, he ranked this number 3 in the tuners class, sports car class, a little bit further back, but I know in the tuners class it was number 3, which really surprised me because this vehicle, in my opinion, and I think a lot of players can agree with me on this, does not take turns well at all. You might have noticed that in the tuners class. It's sort of iffy when you go into, or you might have noticed that when I was in the when I'm in the test track. That's what I meant to say. You might have noticed sort of the turns being a little iffy when you go into them. You have the potential to slide, completely lose control, which obviously isn't good. So I'm surprised it was ranked number 3 for lap time. I wasn't expecting that for the tuners class, and then for the top speed for the tuners class was also ranked number 3, which I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a Porsche vehicle. I figured this vehicle would probably be pretty quick and be one of the more faster ones, even based off its stats for top speed. So I'm not surprised really being number 3. The Comet S2 and the Jester are still ahead of it, but I'm very surprised that the lap time's also number 3. In the tuners class, I didn't expect that. Again, for the sports class, obviously lap time and top speed is much further back. You're still going to have other vehicles that'll dominate this. The Pfister Growler in the sports class, but the tuners class, fairly decent vehicle other than the turning, as you even see with the races I'm doing here. The couple races I did, I still got like second, third place out of like 6 or 7 people competing. But this vehicle, it's just the turning is its downfall. Like I said, I don't know how the lap time was ranked as high as it was, but you just have to really compensate for the turns, and you do have the potential wiping out. And like I said, the overall handling of it turning is, I'd say, really its only downfall. Overall, based on his stats, I mean, for the tuners class or the tuner races, the street race series, the pursuit series, this vehicle can definitely compete with the top competitors, but you do have to keep that handling aspect in mind, because the handling, again, like I said, is the downfall of this vehicle. It can definitely hinder you in your performance in racing. And personally, all in all, I probably would still choose like the Jester RR, the Comet S2 over this vehicle. Again, can it compete with those top vehicles? Sure, but that handling is just a very negative aspect of the Pfister Comet Growler, or Pfister Growler. In any case, guys, that's pretty much everything I have to present to you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it extremely beneficial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share it, and have a great day.